My beloved child, listen deeply to what I am about to say, for in this very moment, every word proceeding from my mouth carries the weight of destiny. You did not hear this call by coincidence. Your presence here is the evidence that I have predestined you to step into a divine turning point unlike anything you have ever known. This is the time for you to lay everything else aside. Open your heart wide and allow me to pour into you a message that will alter the course of your soul. What you are about to hear is not merely a word of comfort, it is a key, unlocking a new spiritual journey. A journey that demands complete obedience, unwavering trust, and a heart fully surrendered. For a long time, I have watched your steps, every small move you made. I have seen you standing firm in trials, collapsing in the night, and lingering at the crossroads of pivotal decisions. Never once did I turn my back when you were weak. Even when your heart was in turmoil, even when your prayers were nothing but heavy sighs, I understood every single one of them. And now, after all the days and nights of your perseverance, I come to tell you the season has shifted. A heavenly decree has been issued, and your name has been called as one who is ready. Do you feel the stirring within your soul? That is the deepest part of you responding to my call. I am awakening the truest essence of your being, the part that has been buried under worry, pain, and unanswered questions. But today, I have come to rekindle the fire, not the fire of outward excitement, but the quiet, fierce flame within the fire of life, of destiny, of unending divine love. Have you ever felt like you missed something, like the promises passed you by and the sacred dreams dimmed in the distance? I know, but I want you to understand this. Nothing is forgotten in me. Not a single tear has been wasted. No moment of waiting has been in vain. All of it has been etched into the palm of my hand. Every cry you uttered in the night reached my throne. And it is precisely for this reason that this moment has been chosen for me to come to you. Not with wrath, but with a tender and powerful invitation. Rise up, my beloved, for your season has come. Do not look at your surroundings and try to define the truth. Do not rely on what your eyes see to discern what I am doing in the unseen realm. There are movements in the spiritual realm that cannot be perceived with natural sight, but your soul can feel them. I am clearing the way. I am dismantling the things that once held you back. I am unlocking doors that have long been shut. And more importantly, I am preparing your spirit for what I am about to reveal. You are not ordinary. You were never called to live a mediocre life swept away by the tide of this world. From before the foundation of the earth, I marked you with a promise, a purpose, a mission no one else can fulfill. You were created to reflect my light, to bear my image in the midst of a broken world, to be a living witness of my unchanging love and limitless power. And today, I have come to awaken that within you, perhaps the past years have caused you to doubt yourself. Perhaps you've had to endure too many voices of denial, so many that you've forgotten the most important voice of all, mine. Today, let me say it again. With clarity that cannot be denied, you are mine. You are chosen. You are loved. And you have been prepared for such a time as this. Not everyone hears this call, but you do because your soul once belonged to me, still belongs to me, and will forever belong to me. Do not be afraid. Do not doubt. Do not delay. Because what I am about to do through you will glorify my name, will bring healing to your life, and will impact people you haven't even met yet. A spiritual ripple is about to be released from your life, spreading like circles on water. But before that can happen, you must decide, are you willing to enter into holy ground? Are you ready to lay down every burden so that only I remain? I do not ask you to be perfect. I only ask you to be willing. And if you are willing, keep listening, because what comes next will show you how to prepare your soul for the wonder I am leading you into. When I call you into a season of preparation, it does not mean you must rush to act in your own strength. It does not mean you must instantly understand everything. Preparation begins within, from a hidden place between you and me. A place no human eye can reach. A place where you can remove every mask, release every expectation, and come before me with the truest version of yourself. It is in that place where I will begin my work in you. It is there I will start the deep healing. It is there I will lay new foundation stones for a brand new journey. I know there are wounds in you no one has ever seen. There are silent longings you've buried, thinking they had long died with the passing of time. But I have not forgotten. I don't merely see what's on the outside. I see into the depths of your soul, where even the faintest whispers echo into heaven. And in that deepest place, I am awakening a call more powerful than ever before, not to make you become someone else, but to bring you back to who you truly are, according to my original design. I did not call you because of your strength. I called you because of your obedience. I did not choose you because you never stumbled. I chose you because every time you fell, you still tried to get back up. And that quiet faithfulness has touched my heart. Now is the time for me to open your spiritual eyes to see. Not a single tear you've cried was ever wasted. Not one pain was without purpose. Everything you've walked through has led you to this very moment where you begin to clearly see why you were created. My child, to be mindful of what you allow your mind to absorb in this season. The world is full of contradicting voices, of sweet-sounding invitations that are hollow at their core, of distorted mirrors that reflect a false image of your worth. If you do not guard your mind, you will lose the spiritual sensitivity needed to hear me. Know this: in times of transition, confusion does not come from me. I am not the author of chaos. I am the God of clarity, and that clarity will only come when you choose to be still. When you choose to sit at my feet and listen without rushing. I am teaching you that faith is not an emotional impulse, nor is it a fleeting kind of strength. Faith is a repeated choice, a choice to believe in my goodness even when darkness surrounds you, a choice to trust my timing even when everything seems delayed, a choice to walk in obedience to the sacred call, even when the destination remains unseen. I do not demand that you see the full path ahead. I only ask that you take my hand and walk with me only step at a time. If you're wondering where to begin, then begin by returning to the very place where you first felt me, the place where your heart was still tender, where your sacred dreams remained unbroken. It might be a small corner of a room, a quiet spot in nature, or an early morning moment before the world has awakened. Go there not with eloquent words or elaborate rituals. Come with an empty heart, and I will fill it. If you feel weak, remember this: it is in that very weakness that my power is made perfect. Don't try to appear strong when you no longer have the strength. Offer even your exhaustion to me. Let your tears become prayers. Let the dryness in your soul become fertile ground for me to plant new seeds. I am not seeking perfection. I am seeking a heart that is broken and contrite, a heart humble enough to say, Lord, I cannot, unless you help me. Oh, Treat every day ahead as a season of sacred preparation. Do not live as usual. Consecrate your time. Be mindful of every moment. When you open your eyes in the morning, whisper a song of praise. When you are faced with even the smallest decision, ask me. When you feel alone, know that I am sitting beside you. And when it becomes hard to keep walking, remember it is in those very moments that I am lifting you with my everlasting arms. Know this, you will not be the same. I am not leading you into a new season so that you can repeat old patterns. I am doing something new. I am pouring new wine, and I require new wineskins. If you are willing to release the limitations of the past, I will bring you into deeper realms of intimacy with Muware revelation. Peace and power are no longer mere ideas, but a living, breathing reality in every part of your life. Are you willing? If you are, then prepare your heart, for I will begin to unveil each next step, each piece of the plan, each fragment that leads to the mission I have called you to fulfill. My beloved child, when I say that a new season is near, it is not merely a promise meant to comfort you. It is a declaration from heaven. It is a bell ringing from eternity, announcing a shift in the spiritual atmosphere that draws ever closer. And for this reason, I am teaching you how to prepare not in man's way, but in mine. It begins with restoring your awareness of my presence in even the smallest details of your life. You may think preparation must start with great actions or dramatic changes, but no, my child, it begins with the simple yet profound realization that I am already here, right now, in the room where you sit, in the quiet sighs you've never shared with anyone. True preparation begins when your heart awakens to this truth. I am not waiting for you at the end of your journey. I am walking with you in every step, in every heartbeat, in every seemingly ordinary moment. I know there are mornings when you wake up and can no longer feel the fire you once knew. There are nights when you pray, yet your prayers seem to echo back from silent walls. I see that quiet weariness. I know that you have even questioned whether I am still near. But, my child, trust me, I have never left your side. It is in those long silences, when you feel nothing at all, that I am digging deeper into your soul, expanding your spirit to carry something far greater. I do not build a divine destiny upon the shifting sands of fleeting emotions. I build it upon the rock of obedience, faithfulness, and unshakable worship. If you only worship when everything goes your way, that is not yet true worship. But when you worship in the midst of sorrow, in the weariness of waiting, in the silence of uncertainty, that is when I see your heart shine like a torch in the dark. And it is precisely in those moments that heaven leans in closer than ever before. My beloved, I am not merely preparing you to receive a miracle. I am preparing you to become part of the miracle, not just to take hold of it, but to carry it, to become a vessel of life, so that when others look at you, they may recognize me, the one who has been working silently within your soul, the one who has shaped every unseen detail, the one who has breathed new life into places others have deemed long dead. The supernatural event you are about to step into will not arrive with the noise of the world. It will not appear as a flash of lightning or the roar of thunder, but as a gentle breeze zone that only those attuned in spirit, those who know how to be still at my feet, will be able to perceive. That is why the preparation in this season requires you to relearn the art of silence. Withdraw from unnecessary noise. from fruitless conversations, from petty distractions that have been draining your spiritual strength. Instead, choose to dwell more often in my presence. You do not need to do anything, nor say anything, just be. And you will see, my presence is enough. I am also calling you to rewrite the expectations in your mind. You once believed I would come in a form you recognized, act in ways you understood, bless you through the methods you were taught. But this time, I am doing something entirely new, something your eyes have not seen, your ears have not heard, and your heart has not conceived. You cannot prepare rightly if you cling to old frameworks. Allow me to expand your vision, elevate your thinking, and even dismantle the limits you unknowingly placed upon me. I am not confined by your experience or your understanding, for I am the Eternal One, the Creator, who is still creating each and every day. I am also teaching you that preparation cannot be separated from unity. The days ahead will be marked by spiritual collaboration. You will not walk alone. I am connecting you with those who share your frequency, your heart, your level of spiritual commitment. Do not resist these divine connections just because you have been hurt before. I am not bringing you companionship out of need, but out of purpose. And for great missions, no one walks alone. Open your heart. Learn to trust again, because in unity, I will pour out a fresh spiritual strength. My child, the moment is near. The door has been opened, but only those who have prepared rightly will be able to enter. Do not prepare merely in body or by rearranging your schedule. Prepare your heart. Prepare in stillness. Prepare through deep worship. My dear one, I am coming not as a distant guest, but as a father, as a redeemer, as a compagnon to walk with you into a journey unlike anything you have ever known. When preparation has soaked into your spirit like rain seeping into dry and thirsty ground, I invite you to step into the next stage, the season of divine action. This is no longer the time to merely wait in silence. It is the moment to walk forward by faith. Even when each step may lead you to a place you've never been before. But my child, know this, not a single step will fall into the void. For my hand is drawing the path beneath your every footfall. Every stone will be placed by me to uphold the feet of the faithful. I know there is still something within you that hesitates, a small part of your soul that trembles before the unknown. But remember, true faith is not birthed in the comfort zone. It grows in the fields where there is nothing left to hold on to but my promise. And I have made that promise. My child, I have promised never to leave you, never to forsake you, never to abandon you in the wastelands of uncertainty and drought. Look back on the journey you've walked. Have I ever left you alone in the night? Have I ever turned my back when you were in despair? No. You know this better than anyone. It was precisely in those moments when no one seemed to see you, when the world turned its face away, that I drew near. I breathed on your pain. I wiped your tears with my very presence. And now, as you prepare to step into an entirely new chapter, let the memory of my faithfulness become the fuel for your courage. Do not wait until everything is perfect to take action. Do not wait until every question has an answer. Those whom I have used to usher in transformation never walked with a clear map in hand. They moved forward with a word. Abraham did not know where he was going, but he went. Moses did not see the sea part until he lifted his hand. Job did not understand why he had to suffer, but he held on to faith. Elijah did not know how the fire would fall, but he trusted my word. And you, my chosen one, are being called to walk with that same Spirit, the Spirit that trusts a God who has never broken his appointment. My beloved, this is the season where every action you take carries spiritual weight. Every time you choose forgiveness over retaliation, you open the door for grace to flood in. Every time you choose prayer over complaint, you are moving unseen mountains. Every time you surrender something I have asked for, you are planting seeds not just for your harvest, but for the harvest of many who will be touched through your life. Do not underestimate the small decisions. They are weaving the great tapestry I destined for you before the foundation of the world. I know there will be times when you feel weary. There will be days when you wonder, am I just walking without knowing when I will arrive? But it is precisely in walking without a visible end that you will come to see me. For I do not merely wait at the finish line. I am present in every stretch of the path. You will come to know that I am not only the God of outcomes, but the God of every step, every drop of faithful sweat, every silent midnight prayer. Let your faith be made visible in what seems ordinary, persistence in your work, integrity in your speech, kindness in your dealings, and humility in your victories. These things, which may appear small in your eyes, are to me the steps of one drawing near to their anointed destiny. I do not seek dazzling triumphs. I look for a heart that chooses what is right even when no one is watching. My child, the day will come when you will look back and realize that what you are doing today was the very answer to prayers you once cried out long ago. You will come to see that what you thought was a delay was, in fact, the most meticulous preparation. You will see that everything you thought was random was divinely ordered by a wise and loving hand. I am preparing to lead you across a threshold that only those who walk by faith can enter. Not everyone will understand you. Not everyone will walk with you. But that is not what matters. What matters is this: I am with you, and that alone is enough. So, walk forward, even when you cannot see the full picture, even when everything feels unfinished, even when all you hold on to is a fragile promise walk. Because my promises are never fragile, and my faithfulness never shifts. You will not walk alone. I go before you. I walk behind you, and I stand beside you. Every step you take has been ordained in advance, not only so that you may fulfill your calling, but so that you may be transformed into my likeness from glory to glory. My beloved, I want you to understand that what you are about to face is not a sign of retreat, but a confirmation that a divine unveiling is taking place. The doors that are closing are not meant to block you, but to steer you toward the paths I have prepared specifically for a chosen soul. You may never fully comprehend why some things didn't turn out the way you had hoped, but if you learn to be still in me, you will see that delay is not denial. It is the sacred interval in which I am perfecting something deeper, better, and more enduring than what you had once asked for. I have seen those moments when you felt lost on the very path I've called you to walk. There were times you prayed with all your heart and heard no reply. Times when you waited but saw no sign of change. But take heart, for my silence is not my absence. I am always working, even when your soul cannot perceive it. Just as tree roots dig deeper when winter arrives, so too is your faith anchoring itself to the bedrock of my promise in the driest of seasons. You will come to understand that in order to journey far in the spiritual realm, there are things you must learn to release, not because they are inherently wrong, but because they no longer align with the frequency I am calling you into. It may be an old pattern of thinking, a relationship that once held value, but no longer brings life, or even a beautiful dream that no longer reflects. My intention: do not view letting go as loss. See it instead as the sacred clearing of space, where I can do something new within you. Know this: I am the one who makes all things new. What you thought was an ending is in fact the brilliant beginning of a new chapter. But that chapter only unfolds when you are courageous enough to release what is past and open your arms to embrace what is yet unseen. I am inviting you to step through the door of renewal, a space where you are no longer defined by past failures, nor bound by fears of what lies ahead. In this place, you will be reborn into your true identity, a child redeemed by blood, anointed to carry light into darkness, and chosen to bring life to other souls. My beloved, as the season shifts, do not be surprised if everything around you begins to shake. What once felt familiar may begin to feel unstable. People who once stood close may grow distant. Places that used to bring you comfort may no longer feel like shelter. But I tell you this so that your heart will not be alarmed. These are all signs that I am calling you out of the old territory of comfort and into the new territory I have prepared uniquely for you. Do not look back. Like Lot's wife, fix your gaze forward toward the radiance of my glory that is lighting the path beneath your feet. There will be voices that try to make you hesitate, the voice of reason telling you to give up, the voice of the past replaying old failures, the voice of the world questioning the path you've chosen. But I say to you, there is only one voice you need to listen to, and that is mine. My voice does not shout, nor does it impose, but it will resound in quietness, in gentleness, and with undeniable authority. It is the voice that calls you back to the simplicity of faith, where you are not swayed by success or failure, by applause or rejection, but are steadied by an unchanging love. In this new season, be diligent in discerning what is real and what is counterfeit. The light I give is not only to guide your path, but also to reveal what is disguised beneath a cloak of spirituality. Not everything done in my name is from me. You must learn to listen with spiritual ears, to discern with a heart refined by fire, and to choose under the leading of the Holy Spirit. When you place honesty and holiness above all else, I will broaden your vision and grant you wisdom beyond your age and knowledge. Remember this: instant obedience always opens the door to the miraculous. Do not delay when I speak. Do not wait until everything is clear before you act. True faith always precedes emotion, and obedience often comes before understanding. As you move forward, I will guide your steps. As you obey, I will unlock what you cannot open on your own. You do not need to see in order to believe. You need to believe in order to see. So, my child, be steadfast. Even if the winds shift and the ground beneath you trembles, let nothing steal the stillness within your soul. I am doing a new thing, and you are a living part of that plan. Be prepared for what you've never seen before, for in it, you will rediscover yourself in the very way I shaped you from the beginning. My beloved one, I have brought you to this turning point not to wear you out, but to teach you how to walk lightly in the Spirit, no longer burdened by the weights of old seasons. There are things I have allowed to fall away from your life not because I am taking something precious from you, but because I am preserving something far greater for you. Do not mourn the closed doors, for if you could see the fullness of what I am preparing behind the new ones, you would offer me thanks even before anything becomes clear. Every step you take, whether long or short, holds meaning in my eyes. You may think you are moving backward, slowing down, or even getting lost, but I see things differently. I see you walking in the right direction, at the right pace, according to the timing heaven has ordained. I see your faithfulness when no one else does. I see your choice to remain pure when surrounded by temptation. And it is in those small, hidden things where I measure spiritual maturity, not in the dazzling achievements the world often applauds. Child, in this season, I am digging deep within your heart to lay a new foundation. It is a quiet but solid work. You may feel that parts of your soul are being shaken, tested, even dismantled. But do not be afraid. I do not destroy, rebuild. I do not wound to harm, I heal from the roots. There are wounds within you that have been hidden under busyness, masked by a false strength. And now I am gently calling you to face them and let them go. Let me into the places you've kept locked away, the memories you avoid, the words you've never dared to speak, the fears you've buried deep. I know all of them, and I do not come with judgment, but with healing oil. You do not need to explain or defend yourself. I only need you to open your heart. Healing begins when you are brave enough to invite me into the parts you once believed were untouchable. There is one thing I want you to remember deeply. Do not let the voice of disappointment become the main soundtrack in your mind. Unanswered prayers, unopened doors, and people who have walked away, they do not define your worth, nor do they diminish my love for you. Every quiet moment in which you choose to keep trusting me, every time you continue to worship even when your heart feels fractured, is a song that rises to heaven with greater resonance than any public offering. I cherish your perseverance far more than any loud declaration of devotion. My beloved child, in this new season, new responsibilities await your arrival, but do not fear them. I never assign a role without also giving the grace to fulfill it. When I called Moses, he said he was unqualified. When I chose Jeremiah, he thought he was too young. When I sent Gideon, he was hiding in a winepress. But child, they were not chosen because they were enough. They were chosen because they were not, so that my power could be made perfect in their weakness. And the same is true for you. Don't wait until you feel ready by human standards. Walk forward, and I will take care of the rest. You may feel underprepared. You may feel alone. You may feel that no one has confirmed you. But I say to you, I am your confirmation. I am the one who sends you. I am the one who anoints your forehead with oil. I am the one who places my words in your mouth. And if I have opened the way, no power can shut it. Don't wait for applause before you dare to step out. A true calling often arrives in silence, but it carries the full authority of the kingdom. My beloved, stay awake and stay ready. The door is open, and you are standing on the threshold of a breakthrough, not a breakthrough marked by fanfare, but one that reshapes the deep places within you. A place where brokenness gives way to strength, where fear yields to courage, and where you no longer pretend to be someone else, but live truthfully as the one I created you to be. Remember, this is the time for you to take your place, the place I have reserved just for you. Not to seek recognition, but to become light. Not to prove something, but to reflect love. Not to complete a checklist, but to walk with me daily. As a partner and friend, I do not need you to work for me. I desire you to work with me. My child, the most precious thing you can offer me is not your ability or accomplishments, but a surrendered heart, From that place, I will build something no one can take away from you. For when you surrender, you become free. When you let go, you are lifted. When you obey, you step into the divine destiny I wrote for your life long before you were formed in your mother's womb. My beloved, as you step into the path I have marked out for you, you will begin to sense shifts, not only in your external surroundings, but more profoundly in the spiritual atmosphere around you. What once seemed silent will now resound with clarity. What once felt blurry will take shape. Every movement you make, every small decision, will no longer be merely personal actions, but will become part of a sacred symphony in which I am the composer, and you are an essential instrument. When you walk in surrender and trust, I begin to reveal things to you that your natural eyes could never see before. You will begin to sense my guidance, no forceful, but gently powerful. It may come as a fleeting impression, a quiet prompting in your spirit, or a sudden open door you did not expect. Yet all of these are signals from heaven. I do not speak through noise. I come in stillness. And, my child, when your soul is quiet before me, you will hear my whisper rising above the countless echoes of the world. Pay close attention to the shifting dynamics in your relationships. Some people will gradually fade away not because you did something wrong, but because I am refining your circle. Those who do not resonate with your spiritual frequency, who are not ready to enter the new season I've prepared for you, will begin to drift. Do not grieve. Do not cling to what I am allowing to end. Separation, when it is divinely appointed, is not loss, it is preparation. I am aligning you with the right connection zones that carry eternal weight. I am sending into your life those who share the vision, those who burn with the fire of the Spirit, those who will pray with you instead of shrinking back when you step out in faith. You will come to understand that, in this season, I do not merely want you to do something for me, I want you to become someone. Calling is not a task, it is identity. And for you to become who I have destined you to be, you must allow me to reshape the way you see yourself, no longer defined by the labels others have placed on you, no longer identified by your past mistakes, no longer limited by the judgment of those who cannot see what I've placed inside you. You are not the one who failed, or not good enough, or always behind. You are my beloved chosen, called and sent in my eyes. You are a masterpiece, crafted with intention and purpose. My child, when you become rooted in this identity, you will be amazed at how you begin to walk with a sacred confidence, not arrogance, but a holy assurance that flows from the presence of the Holy Spirit within you. My presence will go with you into the boardroom, into the classroom, into the kitchen, into every conversation. You will no longer need to prove yourself. For the light that shines from within, you will testify on its own. You won't need to raise your voice, because your life will become a living sermon. I am giving you ears that are finely tuned to hear my voice above the noise of every other invitation. Not every promise comes from me. Not every open door is from heaven. You must learn to discern not through logic, but through spiritual sensitivity. I will train you to know when to wait, when to move, when to be silent, and when to speak. It will not come easily at first, but if you seek me daily, that discernment will grow. You will no longer react emotionally. You will act by divine direction. And then, my child, You will begin to see the fruit, not just the outward miracles, but an undeniable transformation within. The things that once worried you will lose their grip. Familiar traps will lose their appeal. You will find yourself loving what is good, hating what is evil, and desiring my presence above all else. That is the sign of a soul growing in grace, the evidence that you are no longer living to please the world, but walking in true communion with me. My child, in this very season, the words you speak will carry a new weight. I will place my word upon your lips. When you speak life, the atmosphere around you will shift. When you pray, the spiritual realm will respond. When you declare my promises, long-standing delays will begin to dissolve. But you must be careful with your tongue. Do not speak out of emotion, but speak in faith. Do not let negative words rob your mouth of its power. Speak only what I have spoken, no more, no less. Your tongue is the key that either opens the gates of blessing or shuts the doors of grace. Use it wisely. My beloved, it is time to look back on your journey not through the eyes of fear or regret, but with vision shaped by faith. For in every twist and turn you have walked through, whether in darkness or light, I have always been there. Every wound you carry, every stumble you've endured, none of it was in vain. Each moment stands as a living testimony that my grace has been sufficient for you, and that my power has continued to move quietly, even in the places you once thought were forgotten. For too long, you have seen yourself as small, as someone swept helplessly along by the harsh currents of life like a leaf with no direction. But today, I come to declare, you are not a victim of circumstance. You are one who carries a divine destiny. You are not abandoned, not cast aside, but rather shaped, chosen, and prepared for an irreplaceable role in heaven's grand design. Now, my child, stop looking at your own limitations and begin to look at the one who created you. I did not choose you because you were strong. I chose you to make you strong. I am not seeking perfection in you, but I am shaping you day by day, moment by moment, so that you may be conformed into my image. Be assured of this: no pain you've endured has been wasted, and no tear you've shed has gone unnoticed. Every single one is being woven into a robe of glory that you will wear when the appointed time comes. Right now, you stand at a threshold of transition, where all that is old is being shaken, and all that is new is beginning to awaken. I am peeling away the thick layers of fear, doubt, and insecurity. You will no longer be bound by what was the negative words that once wounded you, or by the mistakes of your past. I am renewing you from within, restructuring your spiritual framework so that you can carry the greatness I am preparing to pour out. You ask me, how can I step into what you've called me to when I still bear so many cracks? But oh, my child, it is through those very cracks that my light will shine brightest, because you know what it feels like to fall. You can now walk in compassion toward those who are struggling, because you have tasted despair. You know how to extend a hand to the hopeless. Do not be ashamed of what you've been through. I do not hesitate to use broken vessels. I only ask that they be placed fully in my hands. So now, awaken, for the season of sowing has passed, and the season of harvest is drawing near. This is no longer a time to waver between two paths. It is not a time to retreat in fear of judgment or because of wounds still healing. I am moving swiftly, and you must walk with sharp discernment. I will teach you to recognize my voice, amidst 1,000 others. I will show you what is truly from me and what is a subtle snare laid by the enemy. But you must sit still before Minnow just in body, but in soul. That stillness is not empty. It is the sacred space where I release the blueprints of heaven. My beloved child, clothe yourself with the armor of light. Rise up from the shadows of doubt. Do not wait until everything is clear before you move. True faith is stepping forward without seeing, acting without fully understanding, and trusting even when there is no visible evidence. I never promised to always guide you with a detailed map, but I have promised to take your hand and never let go. I know you are still wrestling with inner voice echoes from the past, from failures, from things yet to come to pass. But let me say this, my voice is stronger than them all. When I say you are enough, no power has the authority to call you lacking. When I declare you forgiven, no condemnation can remain. When I call you the one I've sent, no criticism can keep you from stepping into that calling. My child, everything I'm doing today is not just for you, but for those who will be touched through you. Every decision you make in obedience becomes a seed with eternal impact. Every step you take in trust will unlock doors for those who never dared to dream. And you will witness something miraculous from the ashes of your old days. I can create something entirely new, and you will be the living testimony of it. Now you, the one I have chosen, now that your heart is being cleared of the debris of doubt and fear, I can sow into it a new awareness. You are not only called to rise, but empowered to walk in distinction, not an outward difference, but a transformation from within where my spirit dwells, where he rises, where he prepares the path for heaven's glory to be revealed through your life. My dear one, you may not realize when you've crossed a divine threshold until everything around you starts to shift, not in the way you expected, but in the way you truly need. There may be people who walk away, doors that close, and familiar things that suddenly feel foreign, but do not be afraid. It is not lack, it is pruning. It is not rejection, it is divine protection. You once asked me, why does everything seem to change all at once? And now I answer, because I am freeing you from what you do not need for the next part of your journey. Remember this, you cannot carry all that is old into the new season. You cannot hold on to spiritual burdens and misplaced expectations if you are to step into the true freedom I have prepared for you. Remember that Abraham only saw the miracle when he was willing to let go of what he cherished most. I am not a God of careless removal, but the one who knows what must be taken so that something greater may be given. I never take anything from you without something far better waiting ahead. Right now, you are standing at the intersection of faith and obedience. And I say to you, move forward. Do not return to what is behind. Do not drown in regrets about what might have been. What matters is not the past you carry, but the future I am leading you into. Everything you think you've lost, if it truly belongs to you within my plan, I will restore it. Not only in full, but multiplied. I am calling you to be a voice among a silent generation, a flame among hearts that have grown cold with doubt and disappointment, not with noise or lofty words, but with a life birthed from true intimacy with me. You don't need to appear strong, only be faithful. You don't need to understand everything, just keep going. You don't need to know the outcome in advance. Just believe that I am the one who never breaks a promise. My beloved child, I know the pain that no one else sees. I understand the wounds you've never spoken of. I see the nights you toss and turn, the times you've prayed through tears, and the moments you've hidden your brokenness behind a smile. But I also see the steadfastness of your heart, the faithfulness you have clung to, even when no promise was visible. It is that very faithfulness that moves heaven. The calling upon your life is not just for the moments of victory, but also for the quiet times when you sit in silence and still choose to remain loyal. I see your obedience in places where no one offers applause. I remember every time you chose light over compromise. And now, I will openly reward the faithfulness you have hidden. What has been sown in tears will be reaped in shouts of joy. My child, I am surrounding you with a new circlonade of those who come for benefit. But of those who are aligned in spiritual frequency, these will be people who lift you up, not slow you down. Let me reposition the relationships in your life. Do not grieve when some leave. Their departure is a sign that you are about to step into a deeper dimension of your calling. Separation is sometimes necessary to restore clarity. You are entering new territory. And what you need now is not noise, but clarity. Not speed, but discernement. Not doing more, but doing right. Keep your heart quiet before me, and you will hear instructions that others miss in their hurry. I will speak through the smallest of things, a gentle prompting, a stirring in your spirit, a line from my word, and those things will guide you precisely to where I want you to stand. My beloved, now that you have crossed the first threshold of obedience, I will unveil before you a new realm where revelation is no longer a distant mystery, but becomes the light guiding your every step. Do not assume this journey will be free of trials, but be strong, for I am preparing you not only to endure, but to stand firm and shine even in the darkest places. You were not called merely to survive. You were called to overcome, and not in the ways the world teaches, but in the way I have ordained. The world is entering days where light and darkness will no longer blur together. The distinction between what belongs to me and what stands against me is becoming clearer than ever before. This is a season of unveiling. Hearts will be brought into the light, and long-hidden agendas will be exposed. And it is in this context that I call you to hold fast the torch of truth, not as a decoration, but as a living flame, strong enough to burn through every lie and bright enough to guide the lost. Now, child, it is time for you to stop questioning. Am I truly being used by God? For I assure you, you have been chosen by me, anointed by me, and placed precisely where and when I intended. In the days ahead, you will see doors begin to open, but you must be careful. For some doors are temptations in disguise, beautiful on the outside, but hollow within, promising glory, yet stealing your soul. That is why I say you need discernment, not the kind that comes from intellect, but the kind that is born out of intimacy with me. When you spend time in my presence, you will not be deceived by sweet-sounding yet poisonous voices. You will be able to recognize what comes from me, what comes from the flesh, and what comes from the enemy disguised as light. My child, do not think that you need to understand everything before you begin to walk. Sometimes, I only show you one step, not the entire path. It is not because I wish to hide things from you, but because I desire to teach you trust. If you saw everything ahead, you would not need faith. But when you walk forward with nothing more than a promise, a stirring in your spirit, and a still small voice within, that is when your faith begins to grow. That is when you learn to walk, not by sight, but by deep trust in me, the one who never changes. My beloved, There are things within you that even you have never discovered, for they are only revealed in the furnace of trials. Not when you are at your peak, but when you fall. Not when you feel full, but when you feel empty. This is when my true strength rises up within you. I do not give strength to those who think they are already strong. I give it to those who dare to admit that without me, they cannot take another step. Look at those I have used. Moses, who once fled in shame. Jonah, who once tried to escape his calling. Gideon, who doubted himself so deeply he asked me 3 times for confirmation. Yet I did not abandon them, and I will not abandon you. I see the trembling in your heart, but I also see the fire in your spirit that has never been extinguished. Even if it is just a flicker, I can breathe on it and ignite it into a flame strong enough to light up a generation. My child, you do not need everyone to understand you. Not all are given the insight to recognize the calling upon your life. So, you do not need their understanding. You only need my confirmation. And I have confirmed it. Not once, but many times, through my word, through the quiet stillness in your heart, through the moments when you wanted to let go but something still held you fast. That something was me holding your hand, pulling you up from the depths. My child, prepare your heart for a new season of sowing. But this time, the seed will not only be your faith, it will be you. I will plant you in places that seem barren, but you will take root. I will lead you into circumstances that appear hopeless, and from them I will bring forth wonders, not by your strength, but by mine, not by your wisdom, but by the guidance of my Spirit. And when it all unfolds, never forget that it was all by my hand, and it is all for my glory. My beloved one, in the silence of the early morning, before the noise of the world can invade your thoughts, that is when I want you to hear me most clearly. For it is in the deep quiet of your soul that I whisper instructions the world cannot hear. Do you recognize it? I am teaching you to discern between the voices of the world and the voice of mine, between the alluring invitations of comfort and the profound calling of the one who has placed you into a plan far greater than ordinary desires. Remember this. This is the season where your choices will not only determine your path but define the impact of your life. You cannot move forward with 1 foot in my will and 1 foot in compromise. You cannot expect miracles and yet live as though you do not need me. I am calling you to a deeper level of commitment, not because I require it in order to love you more, but because you need it to fully enter into what I have prepared. The calling on your life cannot fully manifest if your heart remains divided. My beloved child, it is time for you to stop comparing your journey to that of others. They do not carry the weight I have placed on your shoulders. They have not endured the nights you wrestled in silence, or the mornings when you could only kneel, too broken for words. So why do you measure your divine destiny by their standards? I am leading you on a path that is uniquely yours, a path where old wounds lose their power, and former limitations no longer hold you back. And there, I will reveal to you things you never dared to dream. You will see that the promises I have spoken over your life are not abstract theories. I did not write them in the clouds, only to let the winds blow them away. I etched them into stone, sealed them by my Spirit, and have waited for the appointed time to fulfill them. But you must understand this. My promises are never without conditions. They require your partnership through faithfulness, through patient endurance, through steps that may seem small but are steady in faith. Sometimes, you don't need to walk quickly, You just need to keep walking and not stop. My child, I want you to also remember, miracles do not always arrive in thundering storms. Sometimes, they come gently like a breeze, like the quiet light slipping through your window at dawn. I often work through the small things to test the depth of your faith. If you only search for me in the grand and spectacular, you will miss the most sacred things I whisper into your spirit each day. My child, the supernatural event I am preparing is not coming to overwhelm you, but to lift you higher. It is not a whirlwind that will sweep everything away, but a stream of living water that will wash away what no longer belongs to you. You may experience broken relationships, doors of opportunity closing that once seemed golden. Do not be afraid. This is me clearing the stage for what truly comes from me. Not every loss is a wound. Some things must leave to make room for the new blessings I am sending. You must know this. There are people who were meant to walk with you for only part of the journey, not all the way to your destiny. Do not hold on to them out of obligation or loneliness. When I close a door, it is not to cast you into darkness, but because the light I have prepared is waiting somewhere else. And if you keep staring at a door that is already shut, you will miss the exit I am trying to lead you through. This is the season where I want to teach you to let go in despair, but in faith. To let go does not mean to give up. It is your way of saying to me, Lord, I don't need to understand everything. I only need to know that you are holding my hand. When you learn that, you will feel lighter in your soul, clearer in your mind, and even though the road ahead may not be fully revealed, you will still walk it with hope in your heart. My child, I am placing in your hands a new strategy. You cannot use old weapons in a new battle. Do not seek results by repeating what worked in the past. I am doing something new, and you must have a renewed spirit to receive it. Do not be surprised if I call you out of your comfort zone, for miracles are never found in the familiar. Prepare to change, to move, to release what you've known, and to grasp what I am giving not with your hands, but with faith. My beloved, I see obedience in your eyes, even though hesitation still lingers. I do not condemn you for that. I understand that stepping into the unknown requires courage, but fix your eyes on me, not on the winds and waves. When your gaze remains on me, you will walk on water and not sink. I have never asked you to be perfectly strong. I have only asked that you don't give up, because as long as you keep believing, every miracle is still possible. It is time for you to understand that the supernatural realm I am leading you into is not merely a moment to behold, but a season to enter. I have not called you to stand on the sidelines and watch my power move through others. I am calling you to step directly into the center of what I am doing on this earth. You are not a spectator. You are a vessel I have chosen, a tool forged in silence, and now ready to sound the trumpet that heralds a divine shift. You may not see yourself as extraordinary, but that does not matter. I am not looking for prominence by worldly standards. I seek those with tender hearts, ears that can hear, and a spirit willing to obey. I choose those who have been prepared in secret, not those who seek the spotlight. I chose you because, amidst the noise and distraction, you still know how to pause and seek my face. You still choose prayer over complaint, still choose to listen rather than react, still choose love over hardness of heart. That is what makes you suitable for the great work I am preparing. My child, this is not merely a personal spiritual promotion. This is a divine mobilization for a heavenly campaign. I am gathering the faithful, awakening those the world seemed to have forgotten, and shaking the foundations of compromise that have long slumbered within my church. I am rekindling cold faith, restoring holy reverence, and resurrecting sacred dreams that were once buried. And you, my beloved, are a part of this army. Do you see it now? This is not the time to hesitate. This is the time to walk in authority. What you learned in the dark will now be used in the light. The tears you sowed in secret, I will turn them into rivers that refresh the lives of the dry and weary. You once thought you were alone in the battle, but now I am showing you, behind that solitude was a grand design, where every pain had a purpose. Every wound carried a promise of healing, and every trial paved the way for my glory to be revealed. I know there are moments when your heart trembles, unsure of what lies ahead. But child, when I lead you into uncharted places, it is because I intend to do something that has never been done before. I do not recycle miracles. Every season I lead you into carries its own signature, its own expression, and its own imprint of my love and power. So do not look for repetition. Be ready for the new. Keep your heart tender like soil, ready for the first rain. For the rain of my grace is coming, and it will be unlike anything you have ever known. My beloved, in this season, I will also teach you to discern the difference between being busy and being sent. Not everything that keeps you busy comes from me. There are things that may appear good, but if they are not of me, they will drain your strength and distract your vision. Do not let zeal lead you off the heavenly path. Learn to ask me first. Listen carefully, and obey without delay. In surrender, you will find enduring strength. In listening, you will uncover strategy. And in quietness before me, you will see clearly the steps you need to take. The coming supernatural event is not a peak from which you will descend. It is the beginning of a new journey, one where your mind, vision, and purpose will be reshaped. You will no longer think small. You will no longer live only for what is seen. You will begin to see farther, love deeper, and live with the clear awareness that your life exists to reflect my glory. Not to build your own reputation. Prepare your heart, for in this season, I will open doors that once seemed permanently locked. I will reveal gifts you have yet to discover. I will resurrect promises you once tucked away, afraid that hoping for them would only lead to disappointment. But now, you shall hope not out of emotion, but from unwavering trust in me, the one who never makes empty promises. My child, remember this, you do not represent yourself, but you are my messenger. Every word you speak, every action you take, carries the echo of heaven. So live as one who is sent, not as one striving to find a place. Walk in reverent fear, but also in deep joy. For you have been invited to partake in something far greater than yourself. My beloved, this is the time to open your heart to the river of life flowing from my throne. You have traveled far to reach this point, where your faithfulness, endurance, and spiritual hunger have become the substance I use to shape a life that is anointed and fruitful. This is not the end of a journey. This is the beginning of a life transformed by my power. You are standing at the threshold of a new chapter, not just to continue, but to live more deeply, more powerfully, and more aligned with heaven's will than ever before. I also want you to know that what I am about to do in you will not stop with you. The blessing I pour out will overflow into your family, your community, and even to lands you have never stepped foot on. I am turning your life into a river, not a reservoir. The anointing you receive is not for your personal safety, but for healing, restoration, and deliverance of others. Even so, I must remind you, to whom much is given, much is required. The freedom I give is not for you to live for yourself, but for my glory. The healing I bring is not just to ease your pain, but to make you a vessel of healing for others. The breakthrough you are about to witness is not to elevate your name, but to reveal mine to a world hungry for hope. My beloved child, it is time for you to recognize that what I am doing is not merely healing a wounded past, it is reshaping your present and future in a way that surpasses anything you have ever imagined. I have not come just to wipe away your tears, but to turn them into holy dew that waters the seeds you have sown in pain. Those seasons of drought were not meaningless, my child. They were the deep places where your roots of faith clung to me. And now, from that very place, the sprouts of hope are beginning to emerge. You may think you failed, but I tell you, you've been faithful. You may feel too weak to go on, but I see you standing strong in silence. It is those hidden acts of endurance that have shaken the heavenly realms. That very patience is proof of a heart molded by my hands, a soul ripening for a sacred convergence unlike any before. Look back at the footsteps you've taken. They may be scarred, but those scars are proof that you have overcome. They have not weakened you, they have made you more real. The world seeks flawless appearances, but I gaze upon hearts broken and mended in my love. You are the one marked by rebirth, the one who has learned to walk through barren lands and still keep a heart that remains fresh. And now, it is that freshness that will become the ground where I plant new life. My child, listen closely to what I am about to say. You are no longer bound by what has happened. You are no longer defined by those who left, those who betrayed you, or those who belittled you. Today, I have broken every invisible chain that once held your mind captive. The bitter words that pierced your heart like nails, I am removing them, one by one. The lies that once made you doubt your worth shall now lose all their power. You are my child. No circumstance, no past, no mistake can strip away that identity. You have been engraved on the palm of my hand with everlasting love. I give you the right to walk with your head held high, not in pride, but in the firm assurance that you are not forsaken. You are not a victim, but the chosen one. You are a vessel of light, a torch that will illuminate the path for those still lost in the shadows of their own struggle. I will use your story, not only the triumphs, but also the broken nesto. Declare to the world that I am the one who restores, who redeems, who makes all things new. My beloved, now that you have fully heard my words, let them be etched upon your heart. You are no longer the same. You have been awakened, called out, and equipped to step into a new spiritual season known, where my presence will no longer feel distant, but will become a living reality within you. What I have spoken over you is not merely comfort, it is a commissioning. It is not meant to keep you still, but to move you forward. It is not to make you bow to fear, but to stand boldly in the fullness of life. Every revelation you have received is not for safekeeping, it is to be lived, breathed, and woven into the very fabric of your divine calling. From this day forward, live as one who knows they are chosen. Pray as one who knows the Father hears. Worship as one who has seen the glory. Act as one who has stepped across the threshold of the miraculous. For you do not walk alone, I am with you, going before you, standing behind you, and dwelling within you. Keep your heart steady. Let your eyes stay lifted, and let your trust in me be the flame that never dies in your soul. Whether the path leads through forests deep or barren deserts, whether in the darkness of night or the blaze of day, keep moving forward, for my hand is holding yours, and your way has already been prepared. My beloved child, the supernatural season you are stepping into is not just the beginning of a new chapter in your personal journey. It is the spark that will ignite a wave of glory across generations. Through you, hearts will be stirred. Through your obedience, many doors will be opened. Through your faith, miracles will be written into history. Live each day with this awareness: I have chosen you. I am leading you, and I will complete the work I began in you. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell to receive the living